Hi, I'm Leah, and this is Evie. Say hi. Hi.
Hi. Hi, I'm Brenda. I'm 10 and I'm 5.
Well, hello everybody. Welcome to the very first episode of Pastor on the Prairie. So for those of you who don't know already, my name is James. This is my house. We live in rural Manitoba, and I live here with my wife, Leah, my kids, Brendan and Evelina and Kian, and we've been here for almost a year now. I am what happens when a city boy, born and raised in a town just outside Toronto, Ontario, Canada, decides to enter pastoral ministry, and we make the 2,500 kilometer move across the country to pastor a church in Neepawa, Manitoba. Not only that, but we decided that with very little experience or know-how, we would buy a farm and we would start, working the land and homesteading and doing all sorts of things. So, welcome to our channel. This is going to be an opportunity for you to join us on our adventures as we learn, as we learn and grow and make mistakes and figure things out and all sorts of things. Now today, we're going to be just checking on the chickens. We're actually in the coop right now. You're going to notice right away that I've got quite a bit of ice forming in my beard very, very quickly. Today is extremely cold. We have a wind chill of minus 50 at the moment. So with that said, let me show you our coop. Let me show you what we have going on. Let me show you kind of where we're at and what we're working with to try to keep our chickens safe, warm, happy, and healthy during very cold temperatures. So our chickens, they're in a smaller room right now. This is the room that we keep them in when it's this cold. This entire room is fully insulated, and they're quite happy and content. So we're going to check on their food level. Food level's starting to get a little bit low. So let's go ahead and give them some more right now. So chickens are really cool because unlike many animals, chickens are self-regulating. So what this means is I can come in here and we can give them a huge pail of feed that comes out the bottom. Now these are gravity feeders. So you fill this bucket up. It comes out a little slot in the tray. As they eat, more comes down to take its place, and they'll keep doing that until it's completely dry. So, but chickens are fantastic because they self-regulate their own appetite, meaning that a chicken will not overeat. A chicken won't eat itself to death. They won't eat themselves to a point where they are harming themselves. They will eat until they're full, and then they'll stop. Now, normally we have watering cans hanging as well, but when it's this cold, all it does is freeze. It's really hard to keep water thawed for them. So we've got a dog dish. This is an electric dog dish. It'll run you about $35. And it uses about 25 watts of electricity, and it has a small heating element inside, just enough to keep that water liquid and it won't freeze. Now, chickens can absolutely handle pecking at ice to get their water. However, it is not good for their beak. It's not good for their overall longevity. And ultimately they can't get a whole lot of moisture that way. So this is by far a better system to use. So let me introduce you to the flock. Now, we haven't named them, but we have two different types of chickens here. We've got this guy here is our alpha rooster. He's the king of the roost. He's a barnyard cross, and we've got a whole bunch of his hens here. They're also barnyard mix. This brown hen here is actually tried to lay some eggs last year, but we were finding that every time she would sit, what would happen is the eggs would end up being broken. And once an egg is broken and it touches other eggs, they're no longer viable for hatching. So we had to get rid of them. We found that what was happening is, even though this is the best food on the market, this is a full nutritional blend mix from an agro feed store called Minagro here in town. She was missing vital minerals to her eggs. So what was happening is she would lay these eggs, they would have weaker shells, and just her body weight was causing them to crack and break. So we gave them this stuff called dual purpose. Basically what it is a mixture of pea gravel and crushed oyster shells. And the pea gravel goes into the gullet, which is just in the neck there. And the gullet has all these little rocks and stones, and they actually grind their food up before it passes into their stomach to be digested. So we started giving them a dual purpose, and the eggs have transformed massively overnight. So they're giving great eggs, and we're very, very pleased with the strength of the shells. This black chicken right here is actually his mom. So she came with about 13 eggs when we first got her. We had about 6 of them hatch, and he was one of the roosters that hatched. So we've got our barnyard cross, and then you'll notice these beautiful birds right here. There's one. We've got the rooster right there. These interesting looking chickens are called Appenzellers, and they are originally from Sweden. So they're from the mountains in Sweden. They're very cold hardy. They're very robust birds. Not very big. They do tend to eat more than other chickens do. But the benefit of these birds, aside from them being smaller, so you can have more of them in a smaller space, they're easy to take care of, and they're going to give you at least 1 egg every 2 days. So we're going to check the roosting box here, and we do have an egg in there, so we'll grab that and we will check it. And this one's pretty fresh. Sometimes in this cold weather they will crack. If it does crack, it's not the end of the world. It's just a frozen egg. We can go ahead and still use them. Just use them within a timely manner. And we have to add, was one of the projects, is we do have this roosting space for them here. We need to add another roosting space on the side over here so that there's more room for all of them. Right now we have a couple of them that are staying in the nesting boxes, and that is not where we want them to be spending the night. So we want them up on the roost, and we're going to be building that in as soon as it's a little bit warmer to do that. We're going to go and we're going to cut some deadfall. We're going to get some branches and limbs, and we're going to do exactly what we've done here. Just do it over on this side here. Now this is where reduce, reuse, recycle comes in handy. So this is our system for heating the coop. This is an oil-filled radiant heater. It'll run you about $90. These are very, very safe, or safer rather. These are much safer for a chicken coop than some of the other heating units. Unless you have like an actual wired-in mounted garage heater that can be up in the ceiling and away from the birds, this is going to be one of the safest ways that you can do it. So all of these fins are filled with oil. There's a heating element inside the main body there that heats up the oil. The cold air comes up through the fins, warm air comes out the top, and it creates a convection. And then what we've done is we've taken an old crib mattress liner. This is the frame for crib mattress. We have installed that so the chickens can't get right up next to the heating unit. And we have a piece of steel from a grain silo that was taken down on our property. We've repurposed that so that again, it creates a barrier. The chickens can't get in, and it's all metal, so we don't have to worry about heat and all that other stuff. Now we do have a brooding lamp up here so that when our chickens do start to lay eggs, they can have these top nests right here, and we'll have this on to help keep them a little bit warmer. It doesn't give off a ton of heat. It's not going to heat up a whole space, but it will keep directly below it nice and warm. So here you have our chickens. There we go. So now we're going to leave the inner roost. So now we're back out in the secondary roost. This is actually, this chicken house is comprised of 3 separate rooms. Each room kind of has its own function and its own purpose. This is the second largest room that we have here. And the whole purpose behind this, if we get a really windy day, really stormy day, really nasty day, but it's not terribly cold, we can let them out in here. This is also when the weather is warmer, they can roost in here. This can be kind of a normal space. You can see we've got roosting posts set up for them. We've got lots of straw on the ground for them. Nice big window, and it is open air as well. So this is a good space. If it's too cold, like it is today, if it's too cold for them outside, they can be in this immediate area. Now today, like I said, with the wind, it's about -50. We're not going to be letting them into this area today. It's going to create too much of a shock on their system. So if you're new to chickens, during the winter months when it's really cold, you need to keep their roost heated, but not warm. You don't want it warm enough that you can go in and take your shirt, your coats off and sit there and work in short sleeve. We tend to keep our roost around -5. You know, anywhere between 0 and -5 is kind of great because it will allow the chickens to become acclimatized to the cold. That way, when you do let them out into the roost on a cold day, it doesn't shock them, and they're going to fare a whole lot better and be a whole lot happier. So even with the setup that we have in there, I maintain the heat or rather the temperature in there around -5, and we find that is the best for the chickens. I mean, I'm out here on the next wall, and you can see already my beard is starting to ice up already. It is very, very cold. We are feeling it keenly here. And then we have, let me open up this door here. And then we have, this is the primary enclosed coop behind me. So you can see it's nice and open. This entire wall behind me is an open wall, and we have chicken wire from the top to the bottom. We do have a lot of hawks. We have bald eagles. We have lots of predatory animals that would like to come in and snatch the chickens away. We also have magpies that like to get in, and they'll get into the roost, and they'll wreck the eggs, and they'll steal the eggs and do all sorts of nasty things. So we have chicken wire from top to bottom, and that keeps all of the predators out, at least as best we can. And they're allowed out here when it's warmer. So if we had a day that was about -15, whatever, they could come down here. We are fairly sheltered from the wind, which is nice, and the sun coming in helps to warm the space, but it is still a little bit too cold for them to be out. So you just got to remember that when you are looking after chickens, and it is cold like it is here today. That's really bright. When it is cold like we have here today, it is important to remember that we need to make sure that we are maintaining temperature properly. We need to make sure that the chickens are happy. We need to make sure that the chickens are not overly stressed. We want to give them the best life possible. A happy chicken is going to lay more eggs for us and is going to be more productive for us. So we do our best to make sure that they are taken care of. So let me collect my things. I'll give you a quick rundown of how we got here and what we're going to be doing here next. So now we're outside the coop. We're on our way back up to the main house. So what are we doing here? We bought this farm in April of 2020. We are homesteading. We are growing our own fruits and vegetables. We are raising chickens. We are going to be raising goats. We have a lot of wonderful things on the go. Some of the next projects that we're hoping that you will join us for is we have about 5 acres of fencing that we need to repair and replace. We're looking to do some product reviews. We're looking to do some survival tips and tricks, outdoorsmanship, bushcrafting, things like that. And we're hoping that you will join us for all of it. This is very new for us. My background is not rural, it's not farming, it's not hunting. Like I said, I grew up in Oshawa, Ontario, just outside of Toronto. Toronto, Ontario is a city of like 2 million people, 2 million plus. And here we are in outside of Neepawa in a little rural community of about 50 people. And we bought this farm. It is 80 acres, mostly bush. We have, you can see behind me there, we have large fields behind me. We are growing hay. We are growing canola. There's a pond at the back where we can go skating, and where we have our hunting set up, and where we do all sorts of things. So with that said, thank you so much for joining us on our first episode. We hope that you will come back for more adventures. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoy this video and this content. And if you want to support this channel, go ahead and share it with your friends. We are starting off small, but we have some big plans in the future. So we really hope that you're going to join us for it. We hope that you're going to come along for it. And hey, you're always welcome on the farm. God bless you guys. We'll see you on the next one.